Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe. As you probably know, Comic-Con took place about a week ago at this point, and I thought it'd be cool to jump on here and tell you a little bit about my experience at Comic-Con this year and show you some of the things that I picked up, because I did pick up a bunch of really cool figures. I didn't go too crazy, but I got some stuff that I'm excited about and I wanted to share it with you. But yeah, as far as the convention itself, I had such an amazing time. It was one of the best conventions that I've ever been to, and a big reason why is because the strong sense of community that was there. You know, there was just so many like people from YouTube, from Instagram, from like the different Facebook groups, just all kinds of people from the community all in one place, hanging out, enjoying the thing that we all love, and just like, you know, it was a real family kind of vibe, I would say. You know, there was just so many people, and you know, some of these people I haven't seen in years, and it was just nice to see everybody, and it's just so fun to all be in the same place celebrating the thing that really brings us together. You know, we all love toys and comics and all that stuff, so to be in one spot to just like bask in all of that, it's just so much fun. And you know, obviously it was a whole lot of fun to hang out with the homies. I was running around with Art with Toys, MCU Collector, Marvel Kicks, Nico Hodge, a bunch of really great guys that I really don't get the opportunity to hang out with them as often as I'd like, so it was cool to run around with them at Comic-Con. And as far as the convention itself, I feel like every company that was out there in regards to like action figures had a good showing. You know, Hasbro had some really great G.I. Joe and Marvel Legends. Jada Toys came through with some new Street Fighter stuff. NECA killed it like they always do. I think they had the best showing. They just had so many Ninja Turtle things. It blows my mind how they're able to just keep on going with all the different like the different ways that turtles have existed throughout the years. NECA is giving us figures from like all of it, so it was really nice. One of the surprise companies for me was Loyal Subjects. They had some really nice turtle figures, and I actually picked some of them up. I'm excited to talk about those. Mattel also had a lot of really great stuff on display. I love what they're doing with Masterverse. They had a lot of things going on for like their wrestlers and Monster High and all that kind of stuff, so they had a big old like display and they were killing it. But honestly, all the companies killed it in my opinion. I think that everyone did a pretty good job. And yeah, I was mostly happy with it. I did have a lot of fun. I liked a lot of the reveals. I don't want to go into like a bunch of detail about the reveals, because at this point, I'm sure that you guys have seen the reveals and talked about them. I just kind of want to give you my thoughts on my experience. But yeah, in general, I think all the companies did a great job. And it was a lot of fun just being there. It's super exhausting, especially as I get older. I feel like all that walking takes a toll on me. But still, I had so much fun. And you know, by Saturday, I was kind of ready to go home. But then Saturday evening, when we were actually driving home, I was like, damn, I want to go back to Comic-Con. Sunday morning, I was like, man, I wish I was at Comic-Con. I wish there was another Comic-Con. So, you know, I'm currently trying to find other conventions to go to. I would really like to get out to New York Comic-Con one of these days, but that's a little far. But I do hope to go to Designer Con in Southern California later this year. But we'll see. There's all kinds of stuff. Anyways, Comic-Con was awesome. But let's go ahead and get into some of the things that I picked up while I was down there. So first off, me and MCU Collector drove down together along with my family, and that was awesome. And kind of like as a thank you or as a gift, which was totally unnecessary, he hooked me up with the Marvel Legends Beyond Earth's Mightiest Thor and Destroyer 2-pack. I'm very excited about this set. This Thor looks awesome. We've got the Eric Masterson vibe going on, and then Destroyer looks great too. Sorry if I'm losing focus here. But yeah, I'm excited about this set here. Huge thank you to MCU Collector for hooking that up. And then the next thing I got, or this is something I actually picked up at the convention. It wasn't like an exclusive or anything, but I picked up the Marvel Legends Beyond Earth's Mightiest Hawkeye. I'm very excited about this figure. Hawkeye is one of my favorite Avengers characters, and thankfully we were able to find this at the convention. Huge shout out to Art with Toys. He's the one who picked this up. You know, he got like a couple of them for a deal, one for himself, one for me. So huge thank you to him. I'm very excited about this figure. And then now moving on to the stuff I got. Well, actually, that was stuff I got from Comic-Con, kinda. But moving on to some exclusives and some other things. This is a figure that I wasn't really planning on buying, you know? I'm not like I'm kind of hot and cold when it comes to this particular brand, but when I saw this on display, I had to pick it up, and that was the Mezco Green Ranger. I say I'm hot and cold because I just don't love Mezco as much as I used to. They still do amazing things, but I'm just not all in like I was back in the day. But I picked this up, and oh my god, this thing is freaking amazing. I think it's going to go down as one of the best figures of the year. I took it out of the box just to mess with it very quickly, and I was like super impressed. And I'm not a Power Rangers guy. I'm not necessarily a Mezco guy, but this thing is amazing. When I saw like the whole team on display at Comic-Con, that's really what convinced me to buy this, and I had to jump on it. Speaking of Mezco, Mezco always kind of disappoints me at conventions because, you know, I talk about this on my lives. I'm sure people are tired of hearing about it. But man, I really wish that they would get more excited about things. And I just wish they had a more warm and welcoming experience at conventions. All the other companies have people there. They're celebrating. They're happy or whatever. Mezco doesn't do that so much. They used to back in the days. I really wish they'd go back to that. But, you know, putting all that aside, this thing is amazing and I cannot wait to review it, hopefully. But there's so much stuff going on in there. Yeah. Anyways, next up, we have Jada Toys Ryu. Oh man, I'm sorry about all the glare and reflections and stuff. It still has the plastic wrapped around it, but this thing looks awesome. I'm a huge fan of the Jada Toys Street Fighter figures. Even though I'm not much of a Street Fighter guy, I am a fan of awesome action figures, and Jada Toys is doing an amazing job. Huge shout out to Jada Toys. It's so crazy to see their growth from last year. Last year at Comic-Con, they had a very little booth with just a couple of shelves. This year, they had a huge ass like display, and the booth was cracking every single time. Like any point in the convention you go down there was a long line to get their exclusives. Huge shout out to June. That dude is killing it, doing a great job with the figures, did a great job at the convention, and I'm just happy for those guys because they're good people. But yeah, this figure looks amazing. And then next up, what do we have here, assistant? Oh, it's Evil Ryu. My bad, I said Ryu. I've got the editor over here talking shit. Let's see. Next up, we have Mattel Ultimates. You know, I don't do the wrestling stuff. I only cared about this because it was Muhammad Ali. And honestly, I almost missed out on this. Like, I wanted it, but then I was like, I don't know, there's so much other things, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I really want the ref version of Muhammad Ali. I really just wanted this version of him. But MCU Collector grabbed an extra and kind of convinced me to well, actually, I don't know. It was weird. I was like, okay, I'll take that off your hands. He didn't really offer, but then he gave it to me. But he's the one who made me want it. So I don't know. Anyways, thank you to MCU Collector for making it possible for me to have this. I'm very excited about this. I love Muhammad Ali. And I you know, back in the day, like when I used to do a lot of customizing, I used to love what Mattel was doing with the wrestlers. They made like really good base bodies. And I've noticed that like they keep getting better and better. Like I see a lot of the Ultimate stuff in stores and it looks good, but I just don't care about wrestling enough to like buy any of those, and I don't do customs anymore, so I don't really have any need for them. But once I saw they were doing Muhammad Ali, I was like, man, that's perfect. But I don't know if I want to buy the ref and $70 and big old box and all that. But then it was like, who knows if they'll ever put them out single pack. So I'm happy I got it. I'm very excited to check this out. And then one of the one of the most important things I bought while I was at Comic-Con, of course, some comic books. Not a whole lot, but I did pick up some stuff I'm excited about. First off, I picked up Grimm Volume 2, and I haven't read too much of Grimm. I think I've read the first 5 or 6 issues when they were like, I'd buy the individual issues, and I love it. It's a really cool concept, but I need to revisit it. I have Volume 1, and I was waiting for a couple more volumes to come out so I could like sit and binge read it. I'm gonna have to jump on it because it's a really cool concept. So yeah, Grimm Volume 2, and then we have Sentient by Jeff Lemire. I've heard a lot of good stuff about this book. I've heard it's something like Lost in Space meets Lord of the Flies. So that's crazy right there. You know, anything with like little kids off on adventures and stuff is a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to read this. And Jeff Lemire, that dude is just a monster with it. He's crazy. And we're almost finishing up here, but this wasn't a Comic-Con exclusive, and it wasn't really something I picked up necessarily. It was something that was given to me. Thank you to the awesome people at Hasbro. They hooked me up with the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends Bucky cap. I will have a review for this guy pretty soon. Definitely an awesome figure. Still has the problem with the shoulders, but it is what it is. It's an awesome upgrade over the previous Bucky cap, and I'm so excited to have this to put him next to Black Widow. Now, the final... Is this the final stuff over here? It is, huh? Okay, so the final exclusives are something that really caught me by surprise because, honestly, before approaching the booth at Comic-Con, I was not a fan of this brand. Like, I had purchased a couple of their figures. I did not like them at all and decided to just kind of sit out. And that would be Loyal Subjects. They do Ninja Turtles. They do The Last Airbender. I think they do some Cowboy Bebop. They do a bunch of different things. But I got my hands on one of the Ninja Turtle figures thanks to Art with Toys, and honestly, I didn't like it. I damn near hated it. So I never wanted to buy any more of them. But at their booth, they had a lot of their new figures coming out, and it was awesome because as soon as we walked up, the gentleman that was in there, his name was Sean, he started to tell us about all the improvements that they're making on their line. You know, like that they are very like interested in getting better and better. They realized some of the flaws that they had with the previous releases, and going forward, they really want to give awesome action figures. And you could feel the passion, you know what I mean? And it goes a long way, you know, when you feel that somebody is invested and they're excited and all they want to do is give you good toys. Like, it's exciting. It's easy to get hype. It's easy to get behind. And then on top of that, he like welcomed us into the booth. It was like 4 or 5 of us, invited us all into the booth to actually play with the figures. They had some on display, but he was encouraging us to like play with different figures. He's like, here's the Turtles, here's the Super Shredder, here's Krang, here's this, that. He was giving us all kinds of stuff and just explaining all the improvements that they've made, just down to the smallest thing. They're like, check out the hip joints, or check out this, check out that. They were like really in tune with it. And then this particular gentleman, it turned out like you could tell this dude is like an action figure guy. He started to bust out pictures of like, you know, some ACBA type stuff that he's done, and it was awesome. Like, he did some great stuff. And it was really cool to see someone like that behind a line like this. So I did go ahead and pick up the IDW inspired Ninja Turtles from loyal subjects. And I'm so excited to open these, man, because I did open up Donnie as soon as I got home, because Donnie was one of the ones that was on display that I picked up and I started to play with, and it really kind of convinced me. And then someone else that we were with purchased the Donnie figure while we were there, and he opened it. So like when we were at dinner, I was messing with it and I was just really, really impressed. So as soon as I got home, I opened this up and I was just like, man, I love it so much. I can't wait to open up the rest. These figures completely caught me by surprise, and I really look forward to seeing what they do in the future. I hope that they could maintain this level of quality, because, well, I haven't opened all of them. I'm really just speaking about Donnie. But if the quality of these turtles is consistent throughout the 4 figures, that's going to be great. And if they could keep that quality with the line going forward, I really think that they could be killing it pretty soon here. Because, oh, I was looking for this. They also had the artist who drew this version of the Turtles for IDW. They had him there signing pictures and stuff. I don't know how to say his name, but it's Mateus Santiloco, something like that. But he was awesome. He was there signing things, and the guy Sean was like, hey, do you want to get your boxes signed? And I was like, nah, I throw boxes in the garbage, I don't care about that. And he's like, well, there's a little card inside, get him to sign the card. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so we did that. I only had him sign 2, but it was cool that he was sitting there signing stuff. But yeah, man, Ninja Turtles are always awesome, and I know a bunch of different brands do them, but I love to see the different interpretations from the different brands. You know, there's a lot of different reasons to be into the different brands, whether it's price or quality or preference or whatever. So I'm happy that there's a new player in the game, and these, you know, loyal subjects you could buy at Target, and they're a little bit cheaper than NECA. They are something different. NECA's one of my favorite lines. They're almost untouchable. But it's cool to have something that's a little bit less expensive and a little different, you know? They were telling us that they were the only ones that are going to be able to do the IDW Turtles. Who knows if that will stay true, but as of right now, if you want the IDW versions of the Turtles, you're going to have to go with loyal subjects, and I don't think that you'll be disappointed. These versions here are the exclusive versions. That just means they changed them a little bit, like they gave them a little bit more paint detail, and they look really good. I really wish that they gave the standard releases more paint detail, because that's impressive, you know? Like, I wish more people got their eyes on that. I wish they would have found, maybe just, I don't know. Hopefully there's a way that people could buy these so they could get the full experience. I'm not really sure on all the details, but yeah, man. So that was pretty much all my Comic-Con stuff. Like I said, I didn't go crazy. There were a couple of things that I wanted that I wasn't able to get. The main thing is the Acid Rain stuff. Acid Rain had some really cool exclusives, but they're just way too expensive. Like, they're 3 3/4. There was this red guy with the motorcycle. That shit was like $140. I said, no, that's like borderline irresponsible. But yeah, aside from that, I got everything I want. I got some surprises. I got some things that are not released that I didn't know that I would get. And I just had a really good time out there. Huge shout out to everybody that I crossed paths with. Huge shout out to like all the Hasbro dudes. It's always nice to see them, and they're always awesome. Dan, Ryan. I spent some more time with Dwight this year. I never really kicked it with him, so it was cool hanging out with him. Got to meet some of the G.I. Joe guys like Lenny and stuff. And then again, you know, like June and D Amazing over at Mezco and all that. There was just so many cool people that were there, like professionally, and it's always awesome to see them. And then, you know, all the homies, like all the YouTube guys. Like, we got to see Bug, Shartimus, Robo, of course, was running around. Fabio, it's gonna be tough if I sit here and try to name. I know I'll forget people, but you know, all those awesome people that do so much in the community. It was cool to see them all in person. And then of course the Wade crew, Art with Toys, MCU Collector, Adam, aka Playing With Myself on Instagram. It's always awesome hanging out with those guys. I just wish that we lived closer so we could do it more often, but at least it gives us something to look forward to at conventions and stuff, you know. But it was so nice to see all of them. And yeah, man, I had an incredible time. Can't wait till next year. And yeah, hopefully, you know, hopefully you guys out there could all get out to San Diego Comic-Con and experience it, because it really is special, especially if you're into all this types of stuff. So yeah, man, good stuff. Anyways, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Peace.